Welcome to Vlogmas Day 13. In this video, I'm going to tell you how I prevent my fibromyalgia flare-ups, or at least intend to prevent. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Natalie and I live with fibromyalgia. But I also have a bunch of other chronic illnesses like Hashimoto's disease, celiac disease, Raynaud's syndrome, and cold urticaria. I generally live with a lot of fatigue and pain. So anybody living with fibromyalgia will know that it's a pain condition. And it's basically like something in your brain firing wrong and signaling that you're in pain while there's nothing wrong, basically. So over the years, I have greatly reduced my fibromyalgia flares, and I do specific things to reduce my flares. So I thought, why not share? Because maybe it can help someone else. So I do a lot of different things. Let's start with movement. When people say just exercise and you'll feel better, that feels very counterproductive because when you exercise, things hurt and it doesn't feel like it's helping you at all. I felt the same way, but exercise just means move your body. You don't have to use props. You don't have to use weights. For me, one of the things, my fibromyalgia, a lot of the pain is like in my neck and in my shoulder. So I have to make sure that this has muscle power. One of the things I do, let me see if I can show you, is I simply hold my hands up like this. There's nothing in my hands for 15 seconds. And you know, when you just start to do that, 15 seconds is a lot. In the beginning, I could do 5. So just do whatever you can and let go. And then wait for 10 seconds and do it again. If you can only do 5 seconds, it's fine, but try to do this 3 times, up to about 15, 20 seconds each time, because that builds, sorry about that, that builds your muscles, and that has really helped me with this. So then another thing I do is that I had a lot of pain in my back. My hips, my pelvis, that is all an area that's easily inflamed. And I'm also hypermobile, so it's also easily out of place, basically. So I had to build my abdomen, like my muscles here. There are very easy exercises you can do. I did a year ago, 2 years ago right now, I did the Chargie house party tour where I gave live face-to-face Chargie days basically, and I showed these exercises. Let me see if I can find the footage. If I have found it, I'll insert it right here. The only thing that you want to do when you lay down is you're contracting your muscles and you're basically just going up a little bit. So this is the movement you want. We're not doing that because that's too much. So you just want to, like there's a string here and they're pulling you up. So that's the only thing you try to do. Just go up and that's it. Just a little bit. And that's it. And then when you go back down, so up is the easy part and down is the harder part. So you're gonna go up a little bit and make sure you don't drop down. And that's where you contract your muscles, because you're gonna try and go down slowly. So those are exercises I do at home. One of the newest things now that my body can tolerate more is that I have bought a small trampoline, like a small trampoline that I can put in the living room and I can jump on. So to start out with, I could jump about 5 to 10 times. And jumping was really hard on my body. But it helps circulate like my blood, it helps with my oxygen intake, and it really, really gives me strength. So now I can jump up to a few minutes. I can jump about 100 times before I cannot anymore. So yes, whenever I feel like it, sometimes I can do it every single day. Sometimes I'm not able to jump for weeks, but whenever my body feels like I'm able to jump, I do jump. And it's in my living room and it really helps my body. Now, the last thing I do, which I probably should have mentioned first, walk. Take walks. Sometimes I can take a 2-minute walk and sometimes I can take half an hour walk. And I have even gone all the way up to a 1-hour hike. A few years ago, that would have been impossible for me. But because I'm slowly getting my strength back, doing these super simple exercises that jumping is like next level. I wasn't able to do that for many of the years. This is just a thing that I started doing last summer, like 6 months ago. But before that, the only thing I was able to do was take a walk and hold up my arms in the air. And then after that, I got a little bit of muscle. Then I could work on my abs a little bit. And when I worked on those, then afterwards, years later, literally, I could jump on my trampoline. So exercise really does help, but be careful with your exercise. You have to stop before, you injure yourself, you hurt yourself, or you will induce a flare. So you have to really listen to your body and do very mild exercises. Like, I'm not a professional, this is my personal opinion. I have been guided by professionals. There were some personal trainers that have helped me come up with all of this. My physical therapist helped me with all this over the years, but that is my experience and it has really, really helped. So that's all with my body and how I move it. Another thing that is super important in reducing flare-ups is diet. So 2 things really induce flare-ups. One of them is alcohol and the other one is meat. Also fish. Fish less than meat, but any meat and fish. It's just highly inflammable for me. And tomatoes. So for me, tomatoes really, really give me inflammation. So those 3 things I have figured out are triggers for me and give me a lot of inflammation. So I basically don't eat it anymore. It's not like I never, ever eat meat, but let's say that I eat 2 bites of meat a month. That's about the amount, or fish, that's about the amount that I ingest. And I never drink alcohol. In the beginning, like years ago, I would take a glass of wine, or I went on a wine tour and then I just had a little sip at every station. And later I got a lot of inflammation. I was like, it's just not worth it to me. So I completely stopped drinking alcohol about 5-6 years ago. I think 5 years ago. And that has made a huge difference. So moving your body, exercise, and the last thing is sleep. A good sleep pattern is important, but also how well do you sleep? So what has helped a lot for me, I actually don't have to do it anymore, but I've done this for years. Before sleeping, I would take melatonin and magnesium. I think it's called magnesium glycinate, the one that easily absorbs into your body. So 1,500 micrograms, I think it is, of magnesium glycinate. And I would take melatonin. I just needed very, very little, but some people need a lot. What these things do is while you sleep, it regenerates your muscles. So you sleep, you reach like a deeper sleep, and therefore your muscles and your tissue regenerate better than what it normally does in people with fibromyalgia. So those things have helped me immensely, immensely. I think I have taken that for about 6 years every night. And now that I have done all these things for years, I have been eating a very clean diet for many years now. I am more physically active, and I have my, for when I do sometimes get bedbound again for days, weeks, sometimes even months. The latest was 2 months ago when I had a huge inflammation in my hip, and I was stuck abroad, made a video about that. And I had to basically start from scratch again. So, you know, I don't know how to be flare free for the rest of your life, but I do know how to greatly reduce the amount of flares you have and also how long the flares last. Hope this information was helpful. This is what I personally do, and with every year that passes, I do feel better. So that's my life with fibromyalgia. And I hope to see you again on my channel soon. Please leave a comment below because that really helps my channel. And hopefully see you tomorrow for another Vlogmas video. Bye!